Hello. I spoke recently on the People Walker, Chuck McCarthy. This is the chap who decided that because of a lack of acting work coming his way, he would branch out into taking people for a walk. When I was reading about Chuck, I came across the phrase gig economy a number of times. If you're interested in economics, this might be something you'd like to research further. Now, when I was younger, and indeed now, a gig was, and is, something that I attended, a pop or rock concert, a chance to see a band play live. Nowadays, though, the meaning has evolved. A gig economy is where people do not take on a full-time permanent job. Instead, they take on a number of short-term, possibly full-time, but probably part-time roles for, as I said, the short term. Now, the idea of a job for life has long since passed. I guess my parents' generation were the last to stay in with the same company for the whole of their working life. Indeed, even the idea nowadays of staying in the same profession for the whole of your working life might seem slightly odd to many people. I know a lot of people who have changed their professions in either their late 20s or 30s, or even their 40s, to seek new challenges. Retraining later in life is quite common nowadays. So in this talk I'd like to explain what a gig economy is and how it's affecting companies and, more importantly, how it's affecting workers. So, a gig economy is an environment in which temporary positions are common and organisations and companies contract with independent workers for short-term engagements. One study in the USA predicted that by 2020, 40% of workers in the USA would be independent contractors. The idea is that they bring their skill set to a company or organisation for a specific purpose, and when that purpose has been fulfilled, they move on. Now, this has a clear benefit for the company. Firstly, the company saves a lot of money. It does not need to cover the various expenses that full-time or permanent staff incur, such as holiday pay and sick pay. There are some taxes as well. For smaller companies, it allows a level of flexibility that can make them more competitive in the global marketplace. There are also benefits for some of the gig economy workers. They have flexibility to work when they want and for whom they want. I did say some of the gig economy workers. Let's look at some typical examples. In the UK now, if you take a taxi, it's likely that you'll take an Uber cab. This is the taxi service provided through a mobile app. Uber drivers are self-employed, you see. They are paid automatically to their bank account based on the number and length of the rides they provide in the previous week. The driver receives, I think, 80% of the fare, and the company Uber receives the remaining 20%. A self-employed Uber driver chooses when to work and where to work, so there are potentially some benefits there. However, it's not as simple as just signing up to drive with Uber. I'm referring here to the UK rules, where you need a private hire vehicle licence, which you have to finance yourself. Your vehicle needs to be less than 5 years old and able to seat 6 to 8 adults. Your car insurance must be for business use, which means you pay more than the usual insurance premiums. So there are quite high costs involved before you start taking taxi fares in return. So I suppose you need to be absolutely sure that you want to drive a taxi before you start investing in the necessary licence and insurance, and to be confident that the area where you work has enough demand for taxi rides. Uber doesn't just provide a taxi service, it has an offshoot company called Uber Eats, which is a food delivery company. You may also have seen or heard about Deliveroo, which delivers the same, it delivers food. These food deliveries are usually done by moped, motorbike or bicycle couriers. The delivery men and women are, well, mostly I think unhappy with the gig nature of their work. No guaranteed income, pay based on deliveries, not time, and as a result some have been protesting against their terms and conditions. In fact, Deliveroo actually scrapped plans to impose a new contract on its couriers because of the protests. I think for the founders and the senior staff at these companies, the rewards are great. For the clients, those people taking taxis or ordering food, the choice available is better and prices are more competitive. In terms of the food, it also allows you more working time in the day, as you're not needing to leave the office for lunch. So there are benefits for a large number of people, but as with all unskilled work, the pay for those doing it is poor. Hence we have this gig economy. It may suit some people looking to perhaps earn a little extra while they study or something, but it's hardly going to make a steady and reliable career. What it does do is drive down the unemployment statistics. In the UK, for example, unemployment at the moment is fairly low, and it's measured by counting the number of people claiming unemployment benefits. Now, all of those self-employed drivers and couriers are therefore classed as not unemployed, even though they're not earning a great deal of money through their self-employment. Maybe they're not earning any. In conclusion then, the move from the idea of a job for life has long since passed and been replaced by this gig economy, which I think is benefiting the entrepreneurs who dream up the ideas, rather more than it benefits the people who end up doing the donkey work. In many cases, you see, the workers are locked into earning very low rates of pay with little chance of any sort of career. Thank you.